Alright guys, welcome back to Metroid Prime 2. Last time we met in Metroid Prime 2, we had our second encounter with Dark Samus. Wow, I did not feel like sitting through that today. We had our second encounter with Dark Samus, and we got the Echo Visor, so now we're actually going deeper into the Sanctuary Fortress. Maybe? Okay, good. I was about to say, it's like, I got scared when I saw myself at the entrance of the Sanctuary Fortress, so I thought maybe I was turning the fuck around. But, no, I did not do that. Is this the point when I start using the new HDMI for adapter for my GameCube? I think this is, because I don't remember. I know I don't use it that much in the Prime 2 LP. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the footage of the previous part. But yes, we are heading deeper into the Sanctuary Fortress, so... Oh, this room is fucking annoying. Alright, so for this room, you gotta go, like, in and out of Dark Aether. So, yeah, there's, like, a bunch of portals spread out throughout. There's, like, what, 2 or 3 portals in here, and you gotta go through each of them to get behind the barriers in this room. It's not annoying, it's just one of those things where it's like you're sitting through the Dark Aether and Light Aether transfer animation, like, 14 fucking times. And you're also fighting an Ink Smasher, a Dark Ink Smasher. I said Ink, but it's Ing. Ugh. I don't really have any Metroid Prime 4 tangents to talk about because Metroid Prime 4 still isn't out yet. And I already talked about the thing everyone was bitching about, and I bitched and moaned about the Game Awards all last part, so... I mean, really not much to talk about because... I mean, I guess Metroid in general I could talk about. I mean, the only thing I'm looking forward to... I mean, the only thing I really have any sort of request for anymore is... I really just kind of want, you know, them to continue doing the franchise. I don't care what they do as long as it's something that isn't fucking Federation Force. Oh, yeah, I forgot to scan him. So I got a little scared. I almost forgot to scan him. And I don't recall how many... Dark Ink Smashers you come across, but really be careful when you do that, because I know once you reach a certain point in the game, you lose access to the Ink Smashers and the Dark Ink Smashers, so you gotta be careful about that. But, you know, I'm very there are certain directions I'm very curious where they're going to be going with Metroid after Prime 4. If, you know, I doubt I don't know if they're going to keep going with the Prime series. I really hope not, because I feel like 4 I feel like 4 is a little excessive at this point, and that's not even counting like Federation Force and Prime Hunters, because that's just, yeah, those are, I mean, those aren't numbered entries, but, you know, you're getting a little excessive at this point, and that's definitely not even counting Prime Pinball. But, I mean, I wonder if anything, you know, what kind of follow-up that game they would do for Dread, especially, because Dread, you know, there's a lot they can do now with, after Dread. You know, I wouldn't be opposed, you know, and there's also certain games I wouldn't be opposed to getting remakes or remasters for Metroid. Prime 2 and Prime 3 are the two I keep saying. I'd like a Samus Returns port to Switch, or something like that, you know, or a version of Samus Returns for Switch, or Switch 2. That would be pretty nice to have. I have a feeling there might be a Switch 2 edition of Dread coming out sometime soon, or at least like a patch for the Switch 2 for a Switch 2 upgrade for Dread. Like, it's like an update patch where it just makes certain things more optimized, like the loading screens, especially for Dread. I mean, I really love Dread, I do, but the loading screens are so... I mean, you don't run into loading screens that often in Dread, except for when you use an elevator and you boot up your file, but the loading screen is a little long in Dread. Like, okay, you're gonna have to just defeat these guys. Oh, this room sucks too, because I think I died here. That's why I think, yeah, actually, yeah, this is why I actually skipped that intro earlier, was because I died during this upcoming mini boss, and I was just annoyed. So I was just like, I don't fucking feel like sitting through this animation, because again, you know, there are no autosaves in Metroid Prime 2. You know, if you die, you died, and you gotta face the music and start your save file from your last save room. And in the Sanctuary Fortress, those are a fucking rare ass commodity, and I hate that shit. But then again, you know, there's a lot of times in this game where I've kind of noticed that Prime 2 specifically is a little stingy on the save rooms. You know, like when you have to fight the Alpha Blog and the you have to do the process of getting to the Alpha Blog and fighting the Alpha Blog. They kind of expect you to do that all in one go, especially the process of getting through and doing that. I mean, yeah, theoretically you could stop every time you loop back to the main room of the Alpha Blog and go to the save room, but you know, you're wasting your time. You know, if you're speedrunning, you're definitely not doing that, or if you're just trying to get through the game, you know. I mean, I'm not a speedrunner or anything like that, so I don't know how often speedrunners are using save rooms in Metroid, because I'm not a speedrunner. I mean, I do some speedrunning tricks on, like, Metroid Prime 1 on occasion, but that's usually just for fun. I don't really actually attempt that. Like, you know, if I do the scan jump, I'm gonna attempt it like 100 times and then keep doing it until I get it, because, you know what, I just want the space jump early because it's fun. And, you know, I want to get the plasma beam early later on in the game. You know, I don't really give a shit about having a good time in terms of, like, actual speedrunning. I just want to try something new with Metroid Prime 1. You know, as someone who's played the fucking game like a million goddamn times, you tend to want to try something new with it. Not complaining that I've played Metroid Prime a million times. I've done that. There's a lot of games I've played a million times, and I still love them to this day. Arkham City is a huge example. You know, I've memorized Arkham City down to the fucking letter, down to the fucking, like, every single Riddler trophy. I'm pretty sure I can find all of them without a guide now. I've officially reached that point in my life. It's a good feeling, though, when I don't have to look up a guide for Riddler trophies in Arkham City. I just feel superior. Still have to do it for Arkham Origins, though, because... oh, well, there's no Riddler trophies in Arkham Origins. There's the Enigma data packs, but luckily they mark them all on your map, so really the only issue is just... the only really issue for me is just having to figure out how to solve the puzzle. Did I say I look forward to the Arkham Origins Let's Play in, like, 2 years? Oh, man, I'm just avoiding I feel like I'm avoiding Arkham Origins a lot, because there are times where, like, you know, I say, you know, alright, I gotta record my next Let's Play, I got some options here, what do I feel like doing? I could do Arkham Origins, finally get back into the Arkham series, and then I'm like, but... well... and I just do something else completely. I don't know why I'm avoiding Origins so much. I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite Arkham game. Like, it's not... I mentioned that a million times in the review that, you know, I don't think Origins is terrible. I just don't like it as much as City. Because, for one, it plays a lot like City at certain points. You know, there's a lot of City comparisons, and there's just a point where I'm like, you know what, I'd rather just kind of go play City instead of this. You know, no offense to all you people who are huge fans of Arkham Origins. You enjoy what you enjoy, and I respect that. It's just, as someone who's played City a million times, I tend to notice the similarities in terms of City and Origins. You know, there are certain things that are ripped right out of City, you know, and I'm not talking about the map. Yes, I am very aware that the map is just ripped out of Arkham City. I'm not judging that. Oh, I mean a little bit, because you don't do much in that area of Gotham in Origins, because a lot of your time is spent in the new section of Gotham in Origins. You know, you're spending a lot of your time doing stuff in New Gotham and not actually in Old Gotham, which makes sense. You spent all your time in that area in Arkham City, so they don't want you doing that shit twice. But, you know, then what's the point of having that area of Gotham? You know, I mean, you do some stuff there, but not a lot. And then, you know, they just ripped certain things, like the Ra's al Ghul fight was ripped. I mean, you know, the Deathstroke fight, you know, the part where he slashes at you with his staff and sword like 40 times, and you have to mash the counter button in order to counter it. Ripped right out of Arkham City with the Ra's al Ghul fight. So, Oh, I know what I'm doing here. So this, yeah, I could tell this was my second attempt. You want to know why? Because I'm standing in the light barrier because I'm trying to restore health. Because, yeah. So, yeah, this is my second attempt at this fight because I don't remember. Because this fight, man, all right, I'll get into it once we get into the fight. I think I would wait a while. I should have cut this out, but I didn't realize I'd do this. So, whoopsies. I forgot how long this is. Well, I can't really scrub the playhead to see how long this goes because Windows Media Player is kind of shit like that. But I know I at least try to get to most of my energy tanks back. Ugh. Oh shit, didn't mean to activate that. Stupid Apple. Whatever. Ugh. So, I mean, at the time, I've already talked about the Game Awards in terms of the nominations and stuff like that, and, you know, what I hope happens in terms of, or maybe I did say what I hope happens. You know, I think I mostly said I hope Expedition 33 wins everything. Okay, I don't hope it wins everything. I hope it, you know, one thing I do hate about the Game Awards is that you know which games are going to get, like, every award based on how many nominations they have, and unfortunately, Expedition 33 might be that one that sweeps, and I don't want that to happen, because I love Expedition 33, but really the only ones that I want it to win, I don't give a fuck if it wins Game of the Year at this point, because every year I feel like the winner of Game of the Year is just slowly but surely become meaningless, because, you know, back, like, I remember 2017 was Breath of the Wild, which made sense, and then I think the year after that they did, no, it was the year before, they did Overwatch was the winner of that. And then 2017 was Breath of the Wild, 2018 was God of War, and 2019 was Red Dead, was 2019 Red Dead Redemption 2 or Sekiro? I can't remember. I know 2020 was Last of Us Part 2 because everyone got pissed at that. And then 2021 was I don't even remember 2021 at all. I think it was It Takes Two. Was that it? And then I think 2022 was... I'm trying to remember. I know Baldur's Gate 3 won a year, but I'm not critiquing that because I'm sure Baldur's Gate 3 was a great game. I played probably like 2 hours of that. And... I mean, I'm not a huge D&D person, so I guess I just didn't get into it as much as other people. But I'm sure it has a great personality. I know but like last year especially, everyone complained about Astrobot winning, which personally I loved Astrobot. I did love playing through that game for myself. It was fun. Even I gotta agree, it was not Game of the Year worthy. Because, for one, it relied a lot on nostalgia to really, you know... And, you know, a lot of people, I didn't critique that too much. But it was one thing I just kind of noticed where, like, the platforming and stuff like that is very basic. Right down to, whatchamacallit. You know, it was really basic from a design standpoint. It was really easy to understand. Like, if you... Like, it was one of those, like, you know, it was baby's first platformer. No offense to any, you know, I'm not saying it's not like it was baby, it was like brain dead. You know, there was some challenge here and there, especially if you were going for some of the optional content. But it wasn't, you know, a lot of the charm came from, you know, ooh, they acknowledged my favorite PlayStation game from when I was a kid. I love this game. You know, that was just really the only thing to me that was just like, yeah, it just kind of relies a lot on nostalgia. But let me talk about this boss battle for a second. So this whole boss battle, similar to the Spider Guardian, it is all just in the Morph Ball. So what you have to do is you have to boost across the Spider Ball track here every time, you know, you see that little red thing right there in order to damage it. The thing is, though, is you have these claw things coming after you. That's the other time you would boost across, because now we don't have a connected spider track anymore. If you get hit by remember, if you get hit by anything, you fall off and get hit and deal damage. But if you stay on the floor for too long, it becomes electrified. That was what killed me my first attempt, because I didn't realize the floor does that. Why does the floor become electrified if you're on it for you know, 2 fucking seconds? That doesn't make sense to me. I already took damage from the arm hitting me. Why don't I just, you know, why do I have to take constant damage because I fell off the spider ball track? I already got punished once. Why do I gotta get punished twice? Like, that's the reason I don't like this boss, is because, you know, they punished me twice in one move, and I'm like, at that point, you know, like right there, like, yeah, yeah, that's punishing already. You know, I gotta get back up there, but you know, if I fell off because I got hit by an arm, I'm like, well, just make me fall, you know, just make me fall off, and then, you know, take a bit of health from me from getting hit, not because, you know, don't drain my health because I'm in an electric on the floor. That feels stupid to me. It's like you already punished me once, why punish me twice? Jesus Christ. And then once you damage all the red things, the actual core will drop down, and that's when you can damage it. You only have to do it 3 times, though, so it's not that bad, but it was one of those things that just was annoying to deal with, and I died to it, and I was either embarrassed or pissed off. I don't remember. There you go. And there you go. You're good. Go through the door. There's no way back. If you only way back up is through the whole thing again, and you don't fight luckily you don't fight the boss again. It's just you just have to go back and go through the spider ball puzzle, but you don't, you know, I don't feel like doing that. This could have been an elevator, guys. But now they wanted to put a missile expansion down there. Yeah, there is a missile expansion down here that I gotta get later. I wanted to grind for ammo first, which makes sense. But I should probably be destroying these with either the light or dark beam to get actual ammo, but yeah. Whatever. It's okay. You can jump down. Ugh, idiot. No. I'm pretty sure I clearly saw the missile expansion too, which is the sad part. Alright, so for this you have to follow a particular path in order to get to the missile expansion. I think I already fucked it up. Yep, I fucked it up. And there's no way back up, so I gotta go through the whole fucking thing again. Ugh. Yeah, you have to follow a particular path through that morph ball tunnel. We go left, right. There you go. And there you go. But unfortunately, since, you know, we have to go back up the elevator shaft again. You know, this is cool and all, but seriously, this could have been like an elevator or something. This could have been an email. But back to, I was talking about the Game Awards earlier. The thing I'm really, you know, wondering what's going to happen is the announcements they're going to have. You know, they always have big announcements for the Game Awards, or at least updates on certain games and stuff like that. I know I could say this now, the safest bet is no Nintendo shit's going to be announced. I can tell you that now. They never announced. I don't recall a single time where they announced anything Nintendo related besides a Smash Brothers character at the Game Awards. They never really announced anything related to Nintendo. which is understandable. Nintendo usually likes to keep that kind of stuff close to the chest and then announce it themselves at Directs, which is, you know, it's a little understandable, but, you know, one thing I'm hoping for the 50th millionth time, Devil May Cry. I want some Devil May Cry representation. I want Devil May Cry 6 or Devil May Cry remake of some sort. I'll take Devil May Cry 3 or 1 remake. Hell, I'll take a Devil May Cry 2 remake. You know, I want Devil May Cry. You know, that's just the big one that I want. You know, that's just the big request I've been having for years now. But I know probably Capcom is putting all their chips in on Resident Evil Requiem, which I do look forward to as well. I haven't really been watching trailers for it for a couple of reasons. Mainly because I just really haven't been having the time to sit down and watch them. And for horror games like Resident Evil, I like going in blind for the most part. So, because, you know, I don't want to know what kind of monsters and stuff like that I will have to encounter throughout my, you know, journey of Resident Evil. You know, I know I couldn't avoid Resident Evil 8 trailers or screenshots because everyone was going fucking ballistic over Lady Dimitrescu. Fucking perverts. What was funny is I said, you know, she's just going to become a monstrous abomination by the end of the game. And I was fucking right. She was the first boss, first off, which was funny to me. Like, they did that on purpose. And I wonder if there's like a player trend graph of Resident Evil 8 where, you know, once you beat Dimitrescu, the graph just kind of like nosedives after that. I mean, I played through all of 8, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I did every part of 8, and I really loved it. But it was just funny as hell that everyone was going crazy for the first boss in the game. But that was just what I found funny about it. In terms of other stuff that I kind of hope for, I'm kind of curious if Sonic's going to do some sort of announcement, or Sega in general. Maybe an update on Persona 4 Revival. I know this isn't the Persona 3 Reload Let's Play, but that was yesterday. Today is Metroid Prime 2. So, but I am kind of wondering if they're going to be doing some updates on Persona 4 Revival, maybe a release date or a release window. I wonder, you know, maybe an update on Sonic Racing Cross Worlds as DLC. We've been getting a lot of updates on Sonic Racing Cross Worlds as DLC. For one, yesterday actually SpongeBob came out. I haven't touched Racing Cross Worlds in a while. I've been playing other things. I've been playing Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, and Dispatch, and some other stuff. So I've just kind of forgot about racing. I might wait until the third crossover stage comes out, and then I'll do the Grand Prix of that, and then, you know, play a few matches online for every now and then, because that's what I kind of do. You know, I'm not huge into multiplayer games, like, at all. I'm not huge into online because of just a few different reasons. I've probably expressed that opinion, like, dozens of times at this point. You know what, though? I have to thank Christ they do not make me have to fucking do bomb jump puzzles on Spider Ball tracks. What was that sound? Okay. I was hearing like a whirring sound. I was wondering what that was, and then now I know what it is. I thought it was in the game. Alright, for this, you need to place your bomb, well, not there. I would say, like, right before you pass through those little red beacon thingies, right before you pass through that, drop a morph ball bomb, and then you'll be able to go to the next thing. I overthought the shit out of this puzzle, I'm going to be honest with you here. I didn't overthink it, I more just... I got nervous, is the thing. Because you actually have to do this puzzle kind of like twice. Once for either in power bomb expansion or a missile tank, I can't remember, and then once for progression. Yeah, because if you touch that red panel, I guess for some reason it's made of liquid hot magma or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, because you have to do this. This one is for progression, where you have to land in that bomb slot, and then it'll open that, which is a portal to Dark Aether. But we're not going there yet. Yeah, because I'm looking at the guy like, wait, what am I supposed to do now? And it doesn't say do the same thing, but just go the opposite way. It says do the same thing, and I'm like, okay, do the same thing twice. All right, got it. Yep. Yeah, but you can see where the rest of the puzzle goes. Yeah, but unfortunately, I just got to go through the entire thing all over again, which is, it's fine. I think I actually fucked up twice because I missed the expansion I was going for whenever I came back down. Maybe. I don't remember. I know this was kind of at the point in the game where I was getting a little annoyed at almost every minor inconvenience. There was a point, yeah, there was a point when during recording that I was just kind of getting annoyed by everything. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna give myself a little generous room. There you go. You know, like, there was just a point where like I was getting pissed off for no, for like the smallest things. No, you missed it. Yeah. And also, I got stuck behind the portal, so now I'm even extra annoyed because for one, that sound is loud as shit. Yep. Because I'm supposed to go. I don't realize that I have to go. I have to go backwards for a sec because I thought it was just a 2D section, so there was nothing behind me. Oh, that works. Again! Again! They don't do movie trailers at the Game Awards unless it's gaming related, right? They only do that, yeah. Because I was about to say, I'm thinking, maybe they might do some sort of announcement trailer for a Paramount Sonic related thing, or the Devil May Cry Season 2 anime. Or anime Season 2, I don't know why I said it that way, but you know what I mean. But I don't think they do that. I don't think they do. I don't remember seeing movie trailers at the Game Awards. Well, it's the Game Awards, Caleb, not the movie awards. I mean, they're technically movie adaptations and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I should probably mention, speaking of Paramount Sonic, oh, it's Beam Ammo expansion. I was way off. Anyway, what was I saying? I am very aware that Sonic 3 got snubbed for Best Adaptation. That I don't understand what the fuck happened there. For one, Sonic 3 is perfectly eligible. It came out after the cutoff of last year, so it has to have counted for this year, right? That's how it works. They can do that. It came out right after the cutoff of last year's Game Awards, meaning that it could have counted for a 2025 movie. What were the nominees for Best Adaptation? Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell, whatever it was called, Last of Us Season 2. There was one more. There was one more before I get to the one that really pissed me. Minecraft. And fucking Until Dawn? What the fuck? What happened? Like, did no one at the Game Awards voting committee watch that movie? Like, did they just say, that's a game adaptation, just put it on the list? Because Sonic 3 would have won hands down if it was nominated. That or Last of Us Season 2 because of Neil Druckmann, because of how he is. But that's, a whole nother tangent for maybe a Sonic game in the near future. but I'm pretty sure by the time I start a Sonic Let's Play, I will already have done. The new year will already have started, and that event would have been well past. But we'll see. So the next time we meet in the Metroid Prime 2, we're going to be continuing into the Sanctuary Fortress. I think we're actually getting another upgrade soon, but I don't remember. But I'll see you guys next time, and take care.